Tenancy relationship generally is regulated by contract. So that contract in this instance is obviously the tenancy agreement between the landlord and the tenant. So in that document, landlords have the right to reduce whatever privileges they want to enjoy over their property after renting it to a tenant into writing.
Okay.
But some of the mistakes some landlords make is that they think it's a smart move to not give or reduce these terms into writing by not giving a tenant an agreement, thinking, oh, it's a smart move. But I don't think it is really a smart move because, for instance, in Lagos State, the tenancy law of Lagos State protects the rights of tenants. Tenancy law of Lagos State 2011. And that piece of legislation, it's actually very favorable to tenants more than the landlords.
Okay.
But however, the legislation always makes it subject to the tenancy agreement. So that means in this relationship, a landlord and tenant relationship, the tenancy agreement supersedes the tenancy law of Lagos State. So it is always subject. So you have provisions like, okay, before you kick me out of your premises, you must give me a certain length of notice.
Okay.
But that length of notice is not automatic, for instance. It is still subject to the tenancy agreement. Take, for instance, a yearly tenant is entitled to the length of notice that is given by the landlord in the tenancy agreement. So the landlord can decide, oh, I'm giving you 15 days notice when I want to kick you out.
15 days notice?
Yes, you can do that. It's subject to the tenancy agreement, but most people don't know that. It is when there is no tenancy agreement that the law now says, okay, for a yearly tenant, 6 months. So as a landlord, you can circumvent that provision by just simply having an agreement and then inserting there, I'll give you 30 days notice. Once the tenant has signed and consented to that document, then that's it. So back to your question once again. So in terms of the right of the tenant, tenants have a right. The primary right is, of course, your right to peaceable possession. So you have a right to enjoy the property peacefully. The landlord does not have a right to interfere with your possession, come around at any time and knock and do all those sort of things. Before the landlord even comes, he is required to give you prior notice, maybe 24 to 48 hours notice. You know, so your primary right as a tenant is your right to peaceful possession. Of course, you also have a right to make sure that you enjoy the property in a good and tenantable condition. So whatever property the landlord is giving to you must be fit for that purpose. If you are renting it for residential, it must be fit for residential purposes. If you are renting for commercial or business, it must be fit for that purpose, and so on and so forth. And